Hi, it's Michelle Escobar from Up to Sport, and you're listening to the LFC Couch.
Van Dijk demanded that he should score for Liverpool. Salah to settle it. In front of the Kop. Delicious cross. Mane! Alexander-Arnold. It's floating!
From doubter to believer.
Hey everyone, Nish. Hope you're having a very good day or night and absolutely enjoying the Premier League being back. And I hope you're also enjoying the great content we're putting out, like our interview with Chris Williams, the amazing UEFA FIFA accredited Bundesliga and Premier League reporter. Oh, it's a mouthful. And also James Pearce, the one and only, the godlike status that is James Pearce from The Athletic. He's been on the couch in the last episode, so please check that out. But you know, above all, everything else, the Premier League is back and we have got 3 points out of 3 and everything is going amazing. So we need to make sure as many people like yourself who love Fantasy Premier League are getting your fix to know who are the best players from the week before and who are the people you should be signing for the week ahead. Me personally, I'm terrible at this game. I don't know anything, and that's why I haven't really focused in the past. But Lee Spilling from the couch, one of our amazing couch guys who's been on many pods in the past, he's put his hand up and said, yeah, I'd love to do a weekly show, keep it short and snappy, like 10 to 15 minutes, so you get all the info in a nice bite-sized amount. And he will be doing that every week around midweek, so you can get your fill. So please subscribe. Please look out for the FPL Wrap Up Show. And he's also going to be calling out the people who are topping the LFC Couch League on FPL. If you haven't joined already, the code for it is, listen carefully or rewind, 1RGF07. That's the 1, R for Robert, G for George, F for Freddy, 07. So if you listen to this pod, it's great. It's an awesome start. He's going to be bringing on guests and bringing on the leaders as well if you're keen to jump on and tell you their secrets if they're willing to share. So listen out for it. Please listen to Lee. Listen to this great pod. I'm sure you're going to love it. Subscribe, like, share with your friends. Tell everyone about it. And have a very good day or night. And goodbye. And here's Lee. Goodbye.
Hello everyone and welcome to the LFC Couch's Fantasy Premier League update. My name is Lee Spilling and I'll be bringing you weekly updates from the world of FPL. With the first weekend of games finished, I'll be bringing you a brief recap of the big performance from the past weekend and then looking towards next weekend and where you should be putting your FPL money. So to start with, we'll go back to last week and have a look at Arsenal, who kicked off the league against Fulham at Craven Cottage. They are two big performers. Willian, of course, the ex-Chelsea man, he scored 15 points with 3 assists. He is now moved up to 8.1 million, so a 0.1 upgrade for him. Gabriel, the new boy from Lille, he scored 15 points with a goal and a clean sheet, but stays at 5 million. And what a thriller we had at Liverpool, 4-3 against Leeds. Mo Salah got a hat-trick, of course, and he scored 20 points. So if you captained or even triple-captained him, fair play to you, you've done a fantastic job. He stays at 12 million though. Now Reece James for Chelsea had an absolute blinder. He had a goal and an assist, and what a goal it was. He scored 14 points and is at 5 million. And Jamie Vardy, Mr. Ever Ready. He never fails to disappoint this bloke. He scored 13 points and stays at 10 million. Now we've got 4 teams returning this round. 2 big boys and 2 not so big boys. Manchester City, they return to play Wolves at the Molineux. They, of course, have some very, very big players, but with them travelling to Wolves, they, of course, lost twice to Wolves last season, and yes, they can beat anybody on their day, but for some reason, it seems as though Wolves has got their number, so it's up to you, really. I mean, they've got some quality players: De Bruyne, Aguero, Sterling, Mahrez, Silva, Ferran Torres now, the new boy, Gundogan. You know, they're full of class. But you know, I would steer clear. Maybe even De Bruyne at a minimum, because he can create anything from nothing. So it's entirely up to you, of course. But I would steer clear for now. Manchester United, they take on Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. This one will not be as close as I think Man City game will be. I think Man United will just dominate Crystal Palace and walk away with a comfortable 3 points. For me, I'm looking at Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, Anthony Martial, Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, and now, of course, Donny van de Beek, the new boy from Ajax. So their top half of their team is stacked to rival anybody. So I would fully expect Man United to floor Crystal Palace and just blow them out of the park. Burnley return this weekend, and they take on Leicester. I wouldn't touch any Burnley players with a 10-foot barge pole. If I had to, I would look at their defenders. Ben Mee, even the keeper, Nick Pope, quality goalkeeper. But as far as anywhere else up the pitch, I wouldn't touch any of their players if you paid me. And lastly, Aston Villa. They take on Sheffield United at Villa Park. Two promoted teams from the season prior. Sheffield United finished very high up the table from what we were expecting. I think most people thought they were going to go straight back down, but they didn't. They surprised and shocked a lot of teams. But this season, I expect a bit more bounce back to reality here. So, playing against Villa, it's a bit of a pick 'em for me, a bit of a 50-50. So, I would steer clear if I was anybody and stay away from all of their players as an asset. So, with that, I am going to look now at a few of the better players that I'll be sort of suggesting, looking to get in my next week's team. Bruno Fernandes, the villain of Manchester United at the moment. Yes, supremely quality player. But, and I'll say it's a big but, not if you're a Man United fan, of course, but he, and I'll use the term, wins a lot of penalties and free kicks. Some legitimately, some not so much. But from an FPL point of view, this guy will get you bulk points. 10.5 million. Set piece taken out. 10.5, as I said, 10.5 million. In my mind, as a bargain. Get him in your team. He will score 200 plus points this year in the FPL world. So if you can afford him, get him in. If not, save up and get him in. Arsenal, they travel to West Ham. Sorry, no, they don't. West Ham travel to Arsenal. I am looking at Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Willian again. Now, as previously mentioned, Willian's gone up to 8.1 million, but Aubameyang stays at 12. Now, Aubameyang only scored the one goal last week, but what a goal it was. But he can also score at any given second, so he is a constant threat, and with him now being a midfielder, he will even get clean sheet points if Arsenal so happen to get them. So 12 million, he's a lock in my opinion. Willian, though, 3 assists last weekend. Will he do it again? I don't know. But he is now clearly their set piece taker. So I'd expect assists from corners, goals from free kicks, assists from free kicks. A well-worthy asset, if in my opinion. And 8.1 million, not a bad price either. Now Tottenham. Tottenham take on Southampton at the new Dell, sorry. No, St Mary's, sorry. Tottenham lost to Everton at the opening round. Tottenham haven't looked good ever since we beat them in the Champions League final. But they have to come good at some stage. I have gone with Harry Kane. He's 10.5 million. Yes, he had an injury-prone season last year and didn't show his true form. But if Tottenham are to do anything this season or to get into Europe and or Champions League, Kane has to be on top form. So if you're going to go with any Tottenham players, I'll be looking at him. Now lastly, my last two players I'm going to pick are begrudgingly. They're James Rodriguez and Calvert-Lewin. Of course, Everton players, James Rodriguez 7.5 million and Calvert-Lewin 7 million. Calvert-Lewin, of course, scored the winner against Tottenham last weekend, and they take on West Brom at Goodison. So I can't see anything other than an Everton win here. So if I was you, I would be looking at those two players as the creator and the goal scorer. James has also gone set piece duty, so if they get in good positions for free kicks, I'll be excited if I have him in my FPL team. So with that, Arsenal, United, Tottenham, Everton, and of course Man City, they're players I'll be looking at. Defenders, midfielders, strikers. Get as many in as you can. Of course, Liverpool plays Chelsea this weekend, so if you've got them in your team already, I wouldn't stress. I wouldn't be bulk panicking or playing your wild card or sacrificing points just to get rid of them. Maybe even if you have Mo Salah, keep him in there. If you have Kai Havertz, keep him in there. But no, I certainly wouldn't be getting extra players in for those two teams in for this week, because that'll be a tough game next weekend, and we'll be looking at that next weekend though, so just avoid that if you can. Now, the LFC Couch League, Fantasy League, started last weekend, and we had some massive performers. In first place, we had Jeff Patterson, or Android 69ers as his team's known. He scored a whopping 110 points. He triple captained Mo Salah, had Willian in there, had Connor Cody from Wolves, and Soyuncu from Leicester. So fair play to you. Triple captain early. I would always recommend from not playing a triple captain early, but these guys have all proved me wrong. So 110 points for Jeff. Well done to you. First place this week. But everyone's coming after you now. In second place, Michael Owens. Not to be confused with Michael Owen. Well, at least I don't think it is. His team, the Bronte Bad Boys, got 108 points. He also triple captained Mo Salah. But he also had Luca Dean, who got a clean sheet at Tottenham, Raul Jimenez, who scored, and Callum Wilson, who scored for Newcastle. Again, well done to you. Only 2 points off the top. In third place, 5 points off the top, Matt Saul. Solman 1892. 105 points. Again, triple captain Salah, but also had Reece James, who had a fantastic performance against Brighton, and Mr. Virgil van Dijk, who got 7 points, I believe, against Crystal Palace, despite not the greatest performance from him, but he did score, so fair play to him. 105 points. Well done to you guys. We'll check in next week with the top 3 performance again, and fair play to all of you guys. Congratulations. So yeah, that about wraps it all up for this week. As I said, I'll be back next week with a recap. May even have a special guest next week. So if you want to contact me, I am LeeBoy83YNWA on Twitter, or of course you can contact the LFC Couch on Twitter at the LFC Couch. Thank you very much. I've been Lee Spilling. I'll see you next week.